Hey, my name is Muturi. I'm a woman, a mother, a wife. I am managing partner at Delve Training Limited, where I'm a culture architect, I'm a leadership trainer, and I'm passionate about organizational development. What I get to do there as well is executive coaching. I love what I do. More than that, I just love making an impact in society. I lead a team at Mama Outreach Trust to do mentorship programs, and we love that. But my favorite thing is being a wife to an amazing Mr. Gogi and a mother to 3 children who share the same birthday. How I got to where I am right now, I must give credit to my parents. My parents are pastors. I'm a pastor's kid. And I'm so proud to be a pastor's kid. I know people judge pastors' kids, but I feel a lot of who I am is really a reflection of them. So my dad is a pastor. He started off in the corporate world, so I got that. And he was a leader in the finance field, and I think I got a lot of work ethic, a lot of his job was a bit part of his ministry before he went to full-time ministry. So which I've enjoyed seeing how you can live out your purpose in the marketplace. So that's him. My mom, oh my goodness, my mom is a reverend. She's a nurse, like a certified medical nurse. She's a midwife. She's a social worker, like all the way. And she's a reverend, social worker, nurse. Oh, and she's not a lecturer. I know. So a lot of what I am is really as a result of them. So that's really my biggest background, because I grew up with them, living out their lives, serving people, loving people, equipping people, refreshing people. And what I love about their life, it's not what they did, it's who they are, you know, like this story, very random story. So my nanny, one of my nannies, one day said, oh, I really admire you guys. I'd like to be like you. I'd like to be a Christian. And when I told my siblings, they're like, oh, our parents, their God is still alive, you know, in like, so for them it wasn't, they go to work, then they come back, then they're different people. It's who they are at home. Our dentists, like everyone was part of our life, really got to experience them, and they're alive and well. So hey, mom and dad. So that's a big part of my background. I went to Pickard Christian School, fantastic school, and it gave me my roots. I remember, and I'll say this because many guys know me from TV. So I was doing a TV show, a Christian show, and guys were like, you didn't know the Bible? And I'm like, it's my primary school, you know. So I got such good foundation. I got amazing friends. We have a tight alumni group to date. I still remember some of my friends' phone numbers. You know, can you imagine? Yes. We're small class, about 11 people. We started nursery school all the way to class 8. My ratio is traditional wedding. My ratio, all those graduation, my nursery school teacher came, my class 1 teacher came, my class 2 teacher came, class 4, class 5 teacher came. And the principal, I've really grown up with community. Imagine. And that happened for my sister as well. So it wasn't that I'm a favorite. If anything, I was not in primary school. Anyway, then high school, went to Ngara Girls High School. Loved it. I'm part of the alumni there. And as the alumni, we're making the difference we can. And it's a big part of me living out Mama Outreach, because we love connecting mentorship groups there. I was CU cheerleader and head girl. I know. And both used to lead assembly. One before raising the flag, the other after raising the flag. And one used to be, hey everyone, you know, God is good. And the other one would be tough cop. So it was for me playing both roles. Anyway, so that's that. After that, I did marketing. Then I did leadership courses from way back. I've always been passionate about leadership. I did my undergrad. I did a marketing course, a diploma marketing course, and I did my undergrad in USIU. Woohoo! USIU was awesome. Business, management, and psychology, because I loved all of them. And then I did my master's in organization development. And the organization development was really what has been part of my passion for culture transformation, because at Delft Training we focus on culture transformation. So that's a bit of my background, my growing up, my education. My passion and purpose in life is I'm a communicator for transformation. And what I believe in is communication is a lot of listening, a lot of observing, and maybe talking to allow transformation to take place. So I really feel my purpose, and this became more clear as I became an executive coach. I did AOC, fantastic people. And I you know the way a butterfly has larva, pupa, maggot, now that maggot stage is also known as a chrysalis, that hard part. So it becomes the hard part, and when you look at it, there's not much happening, but inside there's a lot happening. So I believe I'm not the butterfly, I'm that tough part that allows people to evolve, and in that is where the caterpillar becomes a butterfly. So I believe I'm that safe space for people in different spaces, whether they're organizations or living their own lives in different ways, to allow them to achieve the outcomes that matter most purposefully. So I'm just there to help people achieve the outcomes that matter most purposefully. Even as a mom, I'm like, who is this child to become? How can I help them? If it's kindergarten, what does achieving kindergarten mean purposefully? Is it obedience? Is it playing? Is it forming friendships? Is it to love on them? So that's why I exist. That's my passion. That's my purpose. And I desire to live it out in different ways. How did I get into media? I never saw it coming, I'll be honest, because by the time I got into media, I was doing training. So I was doing my Monday to Friday corporate training. Then I got this opportunity for a Sunday show. Now, I'll be very honest, and they can't do nothing now because, hey, I'm here. So I'd never watched that show. I'd never watched the show. So I was just told about the show. Someone told me go meet the producer. I didn't know it was being advertised. And I went and met with him. Then he's like, okay, is the studio open? Go and do a trial. I'm like, what? So I did a trial. I'd never watched the show, I'll be honest. We were just to catch up and talk. It wasn't an interview. But anyway, they liked it. They'd been doing interviews. They shortlisted people already. But they added me onto the 4 finalists. And we each did a Sunday and people voted. So I got voted in. But let me tell you the truth. I got to studio. So then YouTube had a challenge way back. It had a challenge. So I was trying to see so this happened Saturday, then Sunday, I'm on air. So Saturday, I'm trying to go through their YouTube because I've now watched this show. Nothing. Because there was a challenge with their YouTube, then their YouTube. Anyway, long and short, I got to join. But I see a big part of it really was because of the interactions I've had with people. I must give credit to that. I used to teach Sunday school. That's how come I hadn't watched the show. But that's how I got into media. So, but I did have a passion for media. I remember a few years before that, I'd wanted to be a host for a show, and I'd distributed my, what were you calling them? The DVDs. Way back, that's what we were doing. So I distributed my DVDs to so many stations. And yeah, so I did have a passion then. And then that's how it evolved. And I loved the journey I had in media, connecting with different people and getting into spaces and having conversations that enrich people. My highlight was a day we talked about forgiveness. And people are sending messages, or I've just talked with my brother, we've not talked for 6 years, or I've got the courage to make that call. And then you realize that these are lives, these are stories. And that show, there are more than 15 people who had significant stories, and definitely there are many who didn't tell us. So, and that was one of my first few shows. So I loved it. The fun, definitely there was music, but the impact was phenomenal. One of the impacts it left on me is the power of shaping culture. Media really shapes culture. Now media is much more, but media shapes culture. So getting to see that, shaping attitudes, shaping mindsets. And a big part of media is so it's a reflection of culture, but it also shapes society. I know I'm passionate about culture. So I do organization culture day to day, but I got to see how it does shape culture, even for organizations. And now definitely social media is part of media. But that was a big part of it, how to shape, how to influence and shift mindsets in a certain direction. Ooh, it's very powerful. So before, my background was in the development space, in behavior change. So there's quite an interlink with that. So, but when I got into corporate training, it was still desiring behavior change into different spaces. So the experience I had in behavior change, the development world, was getting a lot of referrals, a lot of people saying this principle would still work for us. So that's how I got into corporate training. So, and a lot of us, growing up, it wasn't, as I start off my career, so many years later, I've been corporate training. So now it's been more than 10 years. I've done it in about 7 countries in Africa and Europe. Europe is in the Netherlands and UK in different spaces. Africa, it's different countries. But the biggest thing is that it's about shifting mindsets. Everything's about mindset. If you look at any country that has significant change or transformation, whether good or bad, there's a certain narrative and a shift of mindsets, intentionally or not, consciously or not. So then the other thing is, so same thing with organizations. When an organization is excelling, a lot of times it's a reflection of the mindset. So we say the culture, it's the stories that are under the bottom part of the iceberg, the unwritten rules, the norms. Ultimately, it's mindset. If you look at different organizations in the world that have excelled, some that were very successful and they're no longer successful, some that have been successful consistently, bottom line is culture. So that's what I'm passionate about, we are passionate about. So we look at mindsets, we look at what are the behaviors that you desire. There's what behaviors do you stop, start, continue doing. And we love doing analysis. We love doing psychometrics. So we have different tools we have to look at, what's your culture, what's your existing culture, what's your desired culture. So we have fantastic global tools. And what we love is that it's very experiential. So you find we're talking about culture and there's a mat and we just get to share that this is where you're at, this is where you desire, this is what's going to bring results. And how we do it is looking at the culture that will help you achieve results sustainably, whatever your objective is. And we get models that work. So one of the tools we use is top 10 rated by Forbes. But we also have our tools that we've developed locally for employee engagement, for client centricity. We measure business processes. We look at service delivery. So we love doing focus groups, and there's a lot that we get to measure. And it's just to help an organization know how they're doing. We like saying it's like when you go to hospital, there's the MRI, there's the triage, there's the blood pressure. So we have different levels to understand what's going on. Why is it going on? And more importantly, the pathway to change. So other than that, we're passionate about training. We get to do different programs, different academies for different levels in the organizations. So we have developed what is known as the 6 A's of culture transformation, and really is one of the leading models globally because we've benchmarked with other models, and we're so glad that Africa is able to develop that. So we've developed that and seen it happen in different organizations. From top level leadership, there's training, coaching, psychometrics. We develop agile teams, help them find initiatives. So it's not just talk, people get to have their coaching experiences, also form initiatives that help to embed culture transformation. So that's been a joy. It's just been a joy seeing individuals, teams, organizations develop the skills they need to be better leaders, to serve their clients better, connect to their stakeholders better, get to the place where they're able to aspire to where they'd like. And you align the leadership, you then get to ensure is everyone accelerating, because then you get to accelerating patterns and models and help people then assimilate their values. That's the biggest thing. You want to, and not assimilating is like absorbing. So how do you assimilate, live out your values? Then how do you adapt this? So a lot of organizations start with adapting policies and letting people align to policies. But here you have a policy and people, your policies, your structures, your systems, you're doing job evaluation, you're doing, digital transformation, but people have the same mindset. So we don't adapt systems and get people to fit into it. You transform the people, then develop systems that will keep them in check. Okay, so a typical day, it depends. So at times the day can start early and we first meet up as a team because every day is so dynamic. So we love doing check-ins. We have stand-up check-ins. We check on each other. We get to see what's happening. Are we all aligned? Then probably have a training session. So it could be virtual training that we get to facilitate. Virtual training is mostly for our clients who are in different parts of the world, and that goes well. Or it could be in-person training because people are back to in-person training. So you'd find maybe at start of a training and then our associates continue some trainings I don't have to be part of, and allow the team to just explore. Then probably at some point in the day I could have an executive coaching session, and then I have my one-on-ones with the team. So I really enjoy having one-on-ones with the team, and I'm a big believer, and we are big believers, that it's important to check in with your team as often as possible. So if I get to miss one, I do my best to make it up, because ultimately it's the relationships we're building. We also get to have track on the psychometrics we're doing, how's that coming along, and we also have client trackers. So just seeing how we're doing with different projects, is everything on track. So that's a typical day for me, and I enjoy it. For me, success is living purposefully. That's it. If I have a job, how do I live out my purpose? Through the job. So the job is not my purpose, is I live my purpose through the job. That's why it's okay to change jobs. It's okay to change careers. Your purpose remains. Even family is a role. So there's a season you're not married, you're a season the kids are there, there's a season the kids live the next. You still have purpose. You live out your purpose in these roles intentionally. So that's what purpose is to me. How do I live purposefully in the different spheres I have? This is Faith Muturi Ngoge, Delve Training Limited. We love helping individuals, teams, and organizations achieve the outcomes that matter most. So if you want to look at culture transformation, you want to look at leadership programs, client centricity, soft skills, we are here for you. If you'd like coaching or training, we'd love to support you. So on social media, Faith Muturi Ngoge, on Instagram, Faith Muturi, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, Faith Muturi, and for all of those Delve training, you can find us there.